Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Brownstone. I'm your host, Dr. Michele, and you're listening to Numbers Don't Lie. We learn to get out your feelings so you can make the best decisions for yourself, your family, and your business. Well, I'm super excited about today's episode because I get to talk with one of my dear friends, but she's not just someone that, you just know. Like, she's actually a phenomenal woman. We went to college together, became friends later. And she's like, I used to teach too, but she's kind of like that teacher I wish I could have been back when I was, doing it. Cause let me tell y'all, I was good at creating content for my students and I knew what I was doing, but I just did not, me and them just did not gel well. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I had half her talent, I might still be in the classroom. But so my next guest is an educator. She has started, when did you start? You started a while ago, but she didn't come into education as like, this is going to be what I'm doing. So I can't wait for her to tell you about that because I think many of you might have done the same thing. You might have started there, but you didn't think you're going to finish there. Or maybe you just ended there and loved it. So she has a story about that. But in addition to kind of coming to this journey of being an educator, she's done phenomenal work and won multiple awards. Okay. Multiple awards. So we're talking about being a nominated for Teacher of the Year, winning Teacher of the Year for two of her schools. Now she only taught at three. Okay, just give you the perspective. She's won at two and was like, when I say was this close to winning for the whole North Carolina. Like, let me tell y'all, she was close, but that's okay. Everyone recognizes the work that she's doing. She does great work in her classroom. Her students love her, and I got to witness it firsthand. But all this, she's gonna tell you about all that. But today's episode really is talking about education and understanding how data fits in that and how we can better serve our students. So we all have different students, different niches from different, neighborhoods. We all need to serve them differently and they have different needs. And sometimes the standard way we measure success in high school and middle school and even elementary is not always what's best for our students. So we're going to talk more about that. So if you're an educator, pull up. If you know an educator, share it with them. We're going to have a good time today. She's also really funny too. So we're definitely going to have a good time. So welcome to the Numbers Don't Lie stage, Jahara Davis.
That was a great introduction.
I'm glad.
Yay.
Look,
Hello, everybody. Hello, hello, hello.
I'm always concerned if I don't do y'all justice, so that makes me happy.
Yes, yes. But it's hard. It's hard to introduce someone when you're trying to think of all the things they've done. And when you know them personally, it's hard
Yeah.
to think of all of that and say, listen, this is what I want to share. But it was a great introduction. Thank you. Thank you so much. Happy to
Thank
be
you
here.
for joining me today.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So, can you go ahead and tell? Because I gave a little tinkles,
Yeah.
of who you are. Could you share who you are and how you landed in education?
Well, like you said, this was not my first choice by any means. If someone would have asked me when I was graduating from the North Carolina Central University, okay, Eagle Pride, Amplified, I would have definitely told them that I was going to join the other side of the family business, which is possibly be a lawyer and join the military. My dad served, my brother served, my grandfather served. One of my cousins, she just made history in the Navy. She serves. And so I just feel like that's what I was destined to do. And no, no, not at all. So I needed a job. And so my mom had a connect downtown. At the time, I was living in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, never again. And I got a job as a substitute. And so when I started substituting, I was the only Black person.
What?
Sometimes the only Black teacher in the building, sometimes the only Black person in the classroom. And then the sprinkle of Black students that I met, they had never had a Black teacher. And mind you guys, I'm the substitute.
Oh
So
my
I'm not
God.
even your real teacher, I'm subbing. And so it was that moment that I realized I'm necessary. And because I didn't grow up in that environment of not having Black teachers, my mom was a teacher, my Oma was a teacher, my mom's godmom and our cousin, she was a teacher, my male cousin was a teacher. And so I grew up with both sides of that. And so for me, it was like, that's not what I want to do. That's not my thing. Me and children ain't it, right? I come from a very strict, you respect adults type of upbringing. And I just
Same.
thought, no, I'm not going to be able to do that. But yet, I had a niche. The moment that I stepped foot in the classroom, it didn't matter if they were white, black, brown, or indifferent. I was able to build a relationship with those kids in such a short period of time. And so I went on and didn't jump into the classroom, not at all. And I did other things. And I think those things just prepared me to be a better, well-rounded teacher.
Yeah.
And so when I started teaching, it was 10 years ago. It was 10 years ago when I stepped foot at E.E. Smith High School in Fayetteville, North Carolina. And I've taught at 5 schools, but I've taught at 3 historically Black high schools, and I've taught at 2 middle schools. And so E.E. Smith was under Melody Chalmers, where I got my falling in love with education. She taught me how to fall in love with
Oh,
education, and she taught me how to um, find purpose, my why, and allowed me to be as creative and outgoing as I wanted to be because I was not their average teacher. I didn't go to school to be a teacher. And at the time, I had to go in lateral entry.
mm-hmm.
So lateral entry, for those that don't know, you have 3 years to take all these classes for education that you didn't take since you didn't go to school to be a teacher, and you have to take the praxis tests. And so for mine, I had to take 2. And for those who know, my friends know, it took me 9 times to pass that test.
Wow.
9 times to pass that test. And so I didn't pass it until I was already at West Charlotte. And soon after I passed the test in November of 1 year after being in West Charlotte, it wasn't even 1 year, it was only 6 months. The first year, my first year in Charlotte, I won Teacher of the Year for West Charlotte.
Wow.
It wasn't even, I didn't even get through 1 year yet. My first year in there, I went from sub to Teacher of the Year in 1 year of being in
Wow.
West Charlotte. And so, what teachers pay. And so now here I am in Durham, and West Shore is another historically Black high school. And now I'm at Hillside High School. Well, I was at Hillside High School. I think we're going to tap into that a little later. But this is my 3rd historically Black high school, and I am Durham Public Schools Teacher of the Year. And I'd only been at Hillside for 1 year and got it my 2nd year of being here. So now I've been here for 3 years, and I am in love. Durham has been my breath of fresh air in education and being under Dr. Logan's leadership. And might I add, Melody Chalmers won North Carolina Principal of the Year while I was there. And Dr. Logan won Principal of the Year for Durham Public Schools and was Fargo Principal of the Year and was real close to winning North Carolina Principal of the Year as well. So I've been blessed to have 2 amazing principals, one female, one male, both Black, both went to HBCUs, and have poured into their communities. And so it's been a blessing to be under their leadership. So shout out to them. But also, 10 years in the game, and I'm not done.
Right. You got a new beginning. We'll get to that a little
Yeah.
later.
Yep.
So y'all see what I mean about she's the bomb.com, because 1 year, like I didn't even realize it was so quick. And I think you just had a revelation of how fast it was going to school, getting started. Other teachers been there for years, and you get nominated, happened twice. So here you are for your first year, you get nominated. That is a phenomenal feat and very unique. Like, what makes you so unique and like set apart from everybody else?
I've been asked that question before, and it was hard for me to answer that question because I know how much work there are teachers who put into this and don't get any recognition. And it's hard to do this job now. My strongest suit, my pro and my con, I think sometimes, is I'm able to build relationships with students. And that has significantly helped me out in the long run.
Yeah.
But I'm also honest with my students. I provide tough love with them. And I'm my true, authentic self, and I allow them to be their true, authentic self. And I'm not saying I've gotten it right. No, I have not. I've definitely grown from my 20-year-old self in the classroom to who I am now. My students who are now grown in their 20s think I'm soft now, where my students now think soft. No, you are tough. You're strong. No. This is the soft version. Because back in the day, I was off the chain. No, but I love them all the same. I treat them all the same, everybody's going to be chastised.
Mm-hmm.
They have to be chastised differently, right? Because I'm also a mom, so I understand what I may do for one of my kids may
Yeah.
not work for the other, but
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't mean I let up on the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has the same expectation. And so I think that has served me right. No matter what school, no matter what student, I think all of my students who've truly gotten a chance to get to know me and I've gotten a chance to get to know them, they'll all say, listen, Professor Davis don't play. I don't play. But at the same time, she loves me and she cares. And they know I would do any and everything for them if
Oh.
possible. And so I think that's what set me apart. And also, I've never been in the box. Some
Mm.
teachers are scared to get out of the box. They're
Yeah.
scared to create lessons that go against what standards they were supposed to teach, or
Yeah.
what if I cannot teach, and I was an English teacher, so I cannot teach things that don't look like my students.
Yes.
I just could not do that. I'm not reading a book because this is supposed to be college level rigor, where I can find a book that looks like them and still push the grain and give them the same type of
Right.
rigor.
Yeah.
Because we're in a different generation. If they don't relate to it, they
They
do
check it
not
out.
buy in.
No.
And the testing, and I know we're going to get into data, but testing is meant not for the students I've served these last 10 years. They're meant for the students who parents can afford tutors, whose parents can afford them to get a well-rounded, cultured upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
Not for my students. And if I want them to be able to pass that test, and you want me to make sure they pass the test, then I at least need to meet them where they are to get them to where they need to go.
Did you know that data-driven organizations were 19 times more profitable? 19. You heard me right. Perhaps you're asking, what is data-driven and how do I become one of those organizations? I'm so glad you asked. I want you to go take a quiz. It's a simple, quick quiz to help you assess if you are in fact one of those organizations. Head over to mogulbeginnings.com/data into dollars quiz now. That's mogulbeginnings.com. You can just go to mogulbeginnings.com and it'll show you the data into dollars quiz. Take it now. You'll see if you're on your way to 19xing your profitability. You're listening to Numbers Don't Lie on KCCR Cityscape. We hope you're enjoying the tunes and all the jams. Make sure you visit our website over at brownstoneworldwide.com to learn about all things Brownstone. You can check out Brownstone Living Magazine and all the great things that we have on the website, as well as the shop. You just got to head over to the website, brownstoneworldwide.com.
Keeping it locked to KCCR Radio,
my station,
the Brownstone Center. And don't forget, no matter where you go, there we are.
You have to differentiate.
Mm-hmm.
And one student may be great with their hands. One student may be great at articulating themselves. One student may be great at being able to draw out what I'm asking of them, or write out what I'm asking of them. And so, yes, the end goal, you need to take this test and you need to show growth and you need to master it. Absolutely. But in the meantime, what are the steps I need to do to make sure that you are able to get to our end goal? And first, you have to also teach the kids what the end goal is.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot tell them, okay, you got to pass this test. Well, where are they at? Do you even know where they are? You know, like most teachers do the pre-test in the beginning of the first few days or a couple of weeks after the first 10 days. And I'm like, okay. And then they never look at that data again. And I'm going to be 110% with everybody. I was one of those in the beginning of my career. I could not stand data. I hated it. It was intimidating because I didn't understand it. And so I would just go off prayer. Okay, God, I'm about to pray over this test on these students, and I need for them to grow. You know, I ain't looked at that data all year. So I need for you to, this skill, bless it. That's what I did. I'm not lying to you. The first 3 years, 4 or 5 years of my career, I trusted God. That's all I could do. You can tell me about that. I can look at them numbers. It went one ear and out the other. I was like, yep, not doing that. This is what we're going to do. I'm going to look at this. And then I took a professional development with someone who was able to truly break it down for me. And it wasn't just a checked off box.
Mm-hmm.
I had to understand the data. And when I did that, then I made my students understand their data.
That's good.
And when we took the time to chart it out, to write it out for them to see, okay, this is where you are. And also, I'm big on affirmations.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay, the state said that you are in the 9th percentile. Do you think you're in the 9th percentile? No. So what we going to do? I don't know. I'm going to tell you what we're going to do. We're going to shut them up because they don't know you.
I'm going to tell you what you're going to do.
Tell you what you're going to do. We're going to shut them up because they don't know you.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't design the test for you. They haven't seen how much you've grown since you've been in here. Not at all. They don't even know the trials and tribulations that it takes for you to come inside this building every single day. Only you, me, and any other teacher, your parents, admin know who you are. So what we're going to tell the state to do is shut up. And so in order to do that, you have to give these students things for them to see, things for them to hold.
Yeah.
And that's what I did. Let's go ahead and take the time out. Let's mark this out. And so it was a matter of showing them, taking the time to teach them, taking the time for me to prepare myself, because I cannot prepare them if I don't prepare myself. And that is what an intentional teacher looks like. I'm not just showing up teaching. No, I'm intentional about what we're going to do in order for there to be some progression.
And so I just kind of want to peek into your brain a little more. What are some ways that maybe the school or even outside organizations could help support those students and really just supplement and support them?
So this is the thing. A lot of the Title I schools, I'll say, our Title I schools, they have a lot of financial support, more than what people will realize, right?
I do.
They get
Yes,
Title I funds
that
are specifically for certain things to help these students out.
Mm-hmm.
And that's family and community engagement. That is for tutoring. That is for different aspects that school may need. What the community needs to do, though, is just show up. Stop placing the blame on educators, on administrators, even the school board. Stop placing the blame on them too. You need to show up. It takes 2 seconds for a community organization to come up with a sign-up sheet on the schools that they need to feed around the district. Mm-hmm. It is everyone's knowledge to look up to see what schools are F schools, what schools are D schools, what schools are C schools, and the demographic that they serve. That takes 2 seconds to do that. So instead of just continuously doing back to school drives, okay, we passed out book bags that these kids are not going to use. You passed out pencils that they're going to lose.
Period. How you show every day without a pencil?
So teachers, we still got to supply the pencils, okay? I'm still supplying pencils. Go look up these schools that look like the organization that you serve. Mm-hmm. You do that, then you go and you email or you talk to the principal or assistant principal or the community and schools coordinator, because now a lot of them have community and schools coordinators that are inside of these schools. Nice. Reach out to them, because that's part of their role as well, to help bridge the gap between family, student, and community.
So would that be an opportunity for other outside entities? Because maybe every school doesn't offer, maybe it's not mandatory.
Make it mandatory. And yes, I'm sorry, I went on a tangent.
No, yes. I didn't really ask that way,
but that's how community can come in.
Like an opportunity.
Come in, and then also do this. If you guys have the funds, if you're a church and you have a church bus, a church van, and you're able to, because that's all part of our problem too.
Yeah.
Don't want to bring them to school before school.
Yes.
Don't want to pick them up after school.
That is true.
But if you're willing to go through the steps, put in the paperwork at whatever any community that you do, fill it all out, because there's somebody in your organization, I'm sure, that has a bus driving license, or somebody or whatever. Just do it.
Yeah.
Stop waiting for someone to go ask you. And yet you see on the news, we see all the time, we're now in an election season that is going crazy. Education is always always discussed, but yet we are still at the bottom. And I'm teaching in a state where we are at the bottom.
My goodness.
We're at the bottom. And it's not that we don't have great curriculum. It's not that we don't have great teachers, because we do. But we can't perform well when teachers are leaving, when teachers are stressed out, when our mental health is also at an all-time low. It's like, okay, we want you to fix the mental health of students and parents, but you're not going to fix the mental health of teachers who are also parents, who are also serving this community, who also go through a lot.
Yeah.
We got the same problems as everybody else, but we're still at the bottom of the totem pole. No, I'm a strong believer in, if you want something done, you got to treat the people that work for you really well.
Yes.
I am willing to do this work as long as I can, as long as I feel like I'm being seen and treated well.
That's
and
real.
The community organizations don't just say, okay, it's Teacher Appreciation Week, I'm going to bring you some donuts. We don't want no donuts. We don't want no donuts. I don't want a continental breakfast. Come in here with a check. Give him explicit instructions. This is $20 for each teacher for gas in their car. Period. This is $20 for each teacher for them to re-up on the pencils and the paper that they're using. This is $20. This is $30 for the teachers that have deodorant, toothpaste, toothbrush, feminine products for the students that they serve in their classroom. Re-up on those things, because a lot of us have those things in our classroom.
Yeah.
Snacks in our classroom. Don't show up before school and don't show up during Teacher Appreciation Week. Okay? Just don't do that. You can do that, but you need to span it out in the course of a year.
I agree. I totally agree. And even when
don't pick us up and put us down when it serves you. That's not fair.
Either way, there's much work to be done on the community engagement side, but I love that you said that there is usually a community engagement coordinator at the schools, or at least at the school district level, where organizations can get involved. Okay, this is what I've been waiting to get to, because you have big plans on the horizon. You mentioned that you're in grad school. I'm gonna let you say it. I don't want to say it was my business to say. What's going on?
I'm blushing. I don't know why, but I'm officially out of the classroom. And I will be starting my internship as a principal intern this Tuesday, actually. It starts this Tuesday.
Now, this is new to me. Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
This is really cool. And so I want to, ask you from your perspective, like as a future principal. Yeah. So, we're fast forwarding a bit. You're walking the halls of your, the school that you're working in. Maybe it's your own school.
Okay. Amen.
Could you talk about creativity and stepping outside the box? You said it a few times. So if you didn't catch it, you need to catch it. She said it more than one time. It's time to be creative. Okay. So could you describe a creative way or creative method that principals could use to track, student progress and performance, and even staff, because like you said, the one size fits all doesn't necessarily work. So what are some creative ways that teachers and schools as a whole could really measure student and staff success?
So let's fast forward. I graduated and I've been blessed to have my own school, and I'm walking through that bad boy. And the first thing for me before I can even measure success is culture. We won't be able to do anything if we don't have a culture.
That's real.
And so for those who are listening, my students call me Professor Davis because my classroom is called Village University. And so it's a miniature HBCU in my classroom. It's a big deal. When they pass my class, they're immediately alumni. And they love being alumni all the way until they graduate. They're like, no, we're alumni. You're not in there. No. And I have a few honorary, but they are big on who's allowed in and who is not. Having that culture helps with building success.
Yes, I love that.
In my opinion. I know I'm not going to be the traditional principal because I wasn't the traditional teacher. And so the way that I want to measure success is having a high attendance rate. Students come inside that building every day. I know we're doing something right. If
That's
we have
real.
too many students missing, I know we're doing something
Maybe
wrong.
they would get off that bus and never go in that building.
And never go in that building. And I need to understand why we're not coming in, why we're not going to class. And I'm not saying that I didn't have students to skip my class. I definitely did, for multiple reasons. But if we can measure success as a school to bring that down, some things we can't control.
Yeah.
But I want very great attendance. That's success.
Yes.
Because if at least you're coming inside the building, you're going to your classes, then now the accountability is on the teacher to make sure that you're learning. I can't get no excuses from them and say, well, they never came, or they were skipping, or no. They've been there. Because we rectified that problem. So now that's done. What lessons are we teaching? Are they engaged? Do it look like them?
That's tough.
Are you just standing up there teaching at a board?
Never turning around?
Are you sitting at your desk just working from your computer and pointing like this? I'm going to be bored. And I'm not saying lecturing style is not going to work, because if you want to go to college, you need to get accustomed to that, right? But it's the matter of, it can't be every day. Are you one of those teachers who pass out worksheets? And that's it? Oh, they're supposed to know what the work? You can't even be creative with the worksheet? I just like cut it up and pocket it off and do puzzle. If you guys do this, you guys do this, and then you switch. At least let them get up and go from one station to the next. You don't even want to be creative to make it seem like you did something. And I'm sure you didn't even make the worksheet. You probably got off teachers pay teachers. Yeah. So it's the matter of measuring success of attendance, behavior, and of course, growth.
I love that.
I'm not saying that the kid needs to be mastery on the first try. No, because like I said, I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. Progression.
Yes.
If the kid is at 100 when they get to us, we in trouble, because how can we? What you gonna do? None of us do. This is what the 10 years have taught me. And I think as I'm preparing as an administrator, I never want to forget what it was like to be a teacher. That's my common goal.
That's real.
I want to be humbled in that regard. I'm in a new role, yes, but let's not forget of the times that I had it really tough, the times that I didn't want to come back to education, the times I was ready to give up, and also the times where I felt the most loved, the most seen. And I want to create that culture inside of my building. I want to be respected, but I also want them to know I'm not doing anything for the betterment of teachers, students, and their families. That is my biggest goal. That's my biggest goal. And from there, I think that's how you can measure success. You can measure success from attendance, not only from the students, but also the teachers, because if teachers don't like it, they are not there every day.
Real.
And they won't come back.
They won't come back.
So retention.
I was about to say
that be a revolving door.
Yes.
So retention, attendance, behavior, and growth.
Yes, I love that. I love that you didn't just say grades, because I think that's the first thing that most people say when they want to measure success. But I love that you understand that students come in at different places, and just trying to stick a letter or a number behind them and make that who they are. Because a lot of times we're guilty of doing that. And I love that you told them, like, is this who you believe you are? And if not, let's do what we got to do to change it. So I love that you're not just wanting to identify students and saying success is if we all have a 83 average across the school. It's just like, that's tough. Because these students do come into different places. So I love that we can go on and on, but we're going to wrap this up. This was a phenomenal episode. Could you tell the listeners how they can connect with you, like keep up with you?
Well, In preparation of my first year and also not and being in school, I've decided to take off Instagram for 1 year. However, if you would like to keep up with me, you can reach out to me at profdavisdeans@gmail.com. You can send me an email, or I can give you the link because I have an Amazon link so I can decorate my new office. And so if you guys would like to help me do that, please help me do that because teachers in North Carolina do not get paid during the summer. If you didn't know, now you know. And on TikTok, I still make an appearance every now and again at Goat Professor. And you can catch up with me there of just silliness and just having a good time. But for right now, I put my Instagram down so I can focus on the bigger picture, which is my internship, my grad school, and my two little ones. But if you can help me out there, I'll make sure to give these things to Dr. Michele Josie for you.
Oh, well, again, thank you, Professor Davis, for visiting us here in the Brownstone. It's been
Anytime.
super fun. I've definitely enjoyed listening, like just reminiscing, because I don't get a chance. I don't talk about teaching as much because I'm not around teachers as much.
Mhm,
And I
mhm.
remember even just being there, I felt like all I did was complain. Because I was
Mm.
like, if I had half of your talent and your passion, I would have been all right.
Oh.
But yeah, so again, thanks listeners. You can reach out to me at Mogul Beginnings. That's MOG Well on all social media, or you can also Google it and my website will come right on up. You can reach out to me to talk about how if you're one of those community organizations that wants to get involved in these schools and you want to show that you are an effective program, come and talk to me so you can get them to say yes to you, because they get people all the time. They want to know that you're going to actually impact their students, and you need to be able to do that. So holler at me. We do it with data. All right, y'all, have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next time.